after the show tonight. Excuse me. It is so nice to be back at Art Bar. I love open mics, you guys. They're like AA meetings except sadder and with more alcoholics. I drove here from Augusta today. Has anyone here ever been to Augusta? Why? I'm in the Army. I'm stationed in Augusta. My choices were Augusta or prison, and my response was, how bad is the prison? It is a very magical time in Augusta, Georgia, though. It is PGA Masters Week, also known as spring break for rich douchebags. All around my city are young entrepreneurs who will someday grow up to be investigated by the FBI for bank fraud and cold case murders. It's very exciting, you guys. I'm not actually from Augusta. I'm from Sydney, Ohio. Who's been there?
Been to Ohio.
Yeah, that makes sense. But Ohio. By default, I'm like the 5th most famous person from Sydney, and most of you have already forgotten my name. In case you're wondering, I played Steve on Blue's Clues back in the 90s. That was a joke, but some of you believed me for a second, and that is awesome. No, I'm just a soldier who tells jokes to strangers, equally impressive. I was not always in the Army, though. I worked a series of retail jobs before enlisting, which means I chose actual combat zones over having to serve Karens. I told that to my class. I like that. I told that to my supervisor at work, and his response was, Karens is a racist slur. Apparently my boss is the reincarnated corpse of Ronald Reagan. But the point is, Karen is a racist slur. Like, I'm not a white woman, I don't know if that's offensive, but I do not actually think that Karen's is skin deep. Like, a couple of years ago, I lived in Korea, the good one. Squid Game, not Team America. And I was waiting in line, and there was a woman in front of me. She had the exact same hairstyle and the exact same entitlements, and I was like, oh my God, she's a Carrarian. And I have never felt so at home in the world. Speaking of the world, the United Nations announced that for the 6th year in a row, Finland is the happiest country in the world. Finland, they should change their name to Funland. Israel came in 4th, which means I guess they forgot to pull the Palestinians. Speaking of people who hate Jews, Kanye West is in the news again. For those of you who did not hear, Kanye West is no longer anti-Semitic because he watched the movie 21 Jump Street, and Jonah Hill's performance moved him so much he no longer blames Jews for all of his problems. Was that the secret all along? Like, can we send Jonah Hill on a goodwill tour of like the most anti-Semitic countries on earth? Like Syria or Iran or America? While I was researching that joke, I found out that there's an organization called Stop Anti-Semitism. Boring name, but still, they announced that Kanye West was the biggest anti-Semite of the year 2022, which raises so many questions. Like, is there a ceremony for anti-Semite of the year? Like musical numbers and in memoriam for like anti-Semites that died? A Lifetime Achievement Award for Mel Gibson? And on that note, I will close out my set. My name is Pete. This has been my set. I love y'all.